This video is recommended for young adult audiences, ages 10 and up. It contains some mild language. Viewer discretion is suggested.
Sorry, before we begin, what's with the silent title cards? We already have the text-to-speech technology, as we started that a couple of years ago.
Every year, the art summaries on this channel end up getting different fonts, just to stay fresh. I guess Angus just isn't satisfied with sticking to just one.
I see your point, Mike. Well, let's say we get things started, and to do that, we'll need to begin with our routine trivia question. Simon, if you would please.
I'm on it, Sam. Hello to all you viewers, and welcome to AngusMcTavish's 2018 DeviantArt summary. Here is your trivia question to think about, while we go over this year's entries. Many text-to-speech video uploaders follow the same voice patterns, matching the files up to specific characters the way Dave Madsen does. But here, we decided to shake things up, not just for a new direction, but so that this character can be heard better. So, the question is, which character in this video gets a voice makeover? Listen very carefully, as this voice will be featured during one of the months. As always, the answer will be revealed after the year's list is complete. Now then, who starts with the first month's entries? Well, seeing as how I drew the first month out of the hat. Hello, everyone. I am Microsoft Mike, and to start things off, I bring you a series of pics that started in January. Meet the singing Knuckles.
Shut up! Look, I can't explain how this happened, but you should at least hear him sing. Not finding it very funny now. Are you?
So, you're the next big thing in internet memes, are you? Well, let me tell you what you're in for.
Tough break, man. But really, if you want my advice, maybe you can get back into your singing career. Maybe persuade publishers to let you use more songs, just mix it up a little.
The Barry's Mob screenshots were supposed to be based on the two-dimensional version of the squashed red echidna. Videos on YouTube featured him supposedly singing to random songs, of which there turned out to be few. However, upon loading the first image, it got heavily chosen as a favorite because it was around the time of another version of him. At that point, VR chat players were running around as this version, quoting lines from Who Killed Captain Alex, a film out of Uganda. Pretty soon, chats and comment sections flooded with these quotes, talking about Dahway. Some understood the context, others found it controversial, but in the end, overuse of the meme put this version to rest, which led to the epilogue between the little guy and his normal self.
There was a singing variety of Knuckles? I think I saw that once.
That's right, Scotty. It was basically a limited animation, where he would lip-sync to random songs. Had it not been for copyright restrictions by certain distributors, I'm sure we would have heard a lot more before the controversial version of him stepped up and did his thing.
Taking a step from the then current events, we find ourselves going back to see what happens when past references collide. Hello. Microsoft Sam here, and for February, we like to bring up, what I'm gonna do to you. Anyone who was familiar with Cartoon Network's series, Regular Show, which ended the previous year, knows full well how temperamental Benson the park manager can be, especially when dealing with extreme slacking. In this scene, we see him getting seriously pissed off with the two main protagonists, Mordecai and Rigby. But does the setup look familiar to anyone else? If you know your 90s animation, it should. The idea was to reenact a scene out of a Ren and Stimpy episode, specifically, one of Angus's favorites, Sven Holek. When Ren's cousin takes after his cat friend's idiotic traits, the Chihuahua goes into a serious fit of anger, then slowly goes into detail as to what he wants to do to both of them. Disturbing in its own right, yet very hilarious at the end.
After seeing that scene, I'll bet you're glad you don't get as pissed off like the other versions of yourself, Sam.
Well, I guess you're right, Scotty. But I had you worried just now, didn't I? Raffle.
Yeah, you certainly did. Hello, everyone. I'm Radar over here, Scotty, and March was one of the slower months for Angus, but not without its fun crossover ideas such as this one. I is Priest. One of the bands that Angus grew up listening to was Judas Priest. They are also one of those bands who had a more successful comeback during this century. And he took after one of the more classic streaky images of their older albums. Two things were needed to make this favorable to him. Finding the perfect font for the band name was one, but when it came to finding a song title to use, he didn't want to settle for just anything. In the end, Scheming After Midnight became the preferred choice.
Scheming, after midnight. Building, till the dawn. Hedgehog, in the morning. Then he's gone. He's gone.
You mean no one would settle for, hell-bent, for penis?
No. While he had used that joke a lot over the years, he decided it was time to divert from the norm and leave the quotes to anyone who commented. I suppose that is for the best. Fun fact, though, that month, Judas Priest also put out their latest album, Firepower. Talk about additional inspiration for the piece, wouldn't you say?
You can't say that again, Scotty. Timing is everything. Now on to April. And I, Microsoft Mary, present to you a follow-up to an image that was featured in the 2016 summary that Sam hosted. Go, Pikachu. 2 years prior to this, Angus created this version of Pikachu, donning the hat and trench coat like Inspector Gadget, in response to the developing of Detective Pikachu, who was to wear a Sherlock Holmes hat. This got quite a few favorite responses, and during this year, one deviant requested a new image to accompany it. Since Gadget's coat was inflatable, this rendition was made. From there, we also have a spoof on the closing Dick logo, and one other image with the coat looking normal, not to mention oversized on the little Pokemon.
Wowzers. What a difference a couple of years can make. By the way, I noticed that there wasn't much for the month. Was Angus really that busy at the time? That is true, Mike. Part of it was his busy work schedule, but things really got delayed when he got sick during the month. He was in the hospital for gallbladder and hernia surgery. However, after a few days, he was up and doing his routine work and art thing again.
Yes, I was hoping to avoid mentioning that. Just the thought of it. Ew.
You just rest up, Mary. We'll take it from here.
We're up for the next couple of months anyway.
I'm Lernout and Howski Michael. For the month of May, we go back to the Gmod files for a reference gag that seems all too fitting for one type of video game. Team Fortress 2 in a nutshell. Here, we see the soldier from TF2 striking a pose similar to Robbie Rodden from Lazy Town, warning people about letting their kids play the game, and what they may end up doing after a while.
Don't let your kids play it. Before you know it, they'll be begging for trades and cussing out teammates, and spewing all sorts of spam messages and being maggots. Well, that certainly nutshells the game after just over a decade. By the way, I think we need to update a little something on the specific reference, right?
That is correct, Sam. Last year, we featured a few references based on Robbie Rodden and stated how the actor who played him was recovering from his cancer treatment. However, things took a turn during 2018, and during the summer, Stefan Karl Stephenson had passed. There are many popular names who were taken from us during the year, but as far as kids' television villains go, he was certainly number one. There is a tribute piece made in Gmod as well, but it never reached the DeviantArt pages, so this is an exclusive to this compilation.
He will definitely be missed, and not just by the internet community. Hello. I'm Learnout and P. Michelle, bringing you the images that became the highlight for June. A Bonk-See comic. Anyone who enjoys funny animated videos have likely come across two cartoon dinosaurs that got edited so that they go into song. One gets the song underway, and the other interrupts with a single, yee. While Angus doesn't know how to edit voices to music like others do, he created a Gmod comic based on that very dinosaur adventure meme, with the scout leading things with multiple bonks. Little does he realize that he's about to be cut off by a freak Fortress C man, and his reaction shows just about as much annoyance as his prehistoric counterpart.
There's an old video based on that by someone else as well, but with the heavy weapons guy and the spy, right?
Yes, Michael, that's right. The heavy does that poot thing, like his poot dispenser here, and the spy interrupts him. That is part of the inspiration for Angus's comic.
Excuse me, everyone. I heard Mary had a sensitive stomach issue, so I'd better take care of that.
Yes, come on in, Janitor Jack. By the way, I think you're also up next for the monthly highlights for our compilation.
Really? Okay then, you know what they say about timing. Well, like Mike says, I am Janitor Jack, an original character that Angus created for these videos. And July of 2018 meant a very special occasion for him. 10 years on DeviantArt. On July 14, 2008, Angus joined the website and started contributing after being egged on by good people on another website. 10 years later, he has seen his quality on Microsoft Paint improve greatly, as well as putting other programs to use. What you see here is his likeness clicking and bringing up several aspects that have been fun for him to use and/or make. Starting with Kyle from South Park, where his computer fan art started, we also see Dr. Robotnik as seen in Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog for multiple references and gags. He also brought to life his own versions of characters like Microsoft Sam and a superhero known as Beef Boy, the latter of which he made an entire comic book story for early on. He also features a child character for his A, B, C's of Meme story, his own AngusArt logo, and a trophy for his annual Meme Madness tournament, which has been tied in with a college basketball tournament every year since 2011. Indeed, after a decade and well over 2,000 submissions, it has been a fun time, and he's looking forward to much more.
The count of images at the time of the anniversary, 2,483, including that commemorative.
Imagine if no one ever suffered from artist's block.
I guess I'm up now. Hello. My name is Sydney, and for August, I'm bringing you an image that was inspired by a YouTube user and one of his latest character add-ons, SMG4 and Tari. Angus had been watching the video series by SMG4 ever since he found out that one of his images was used for reference material in one of his videos back in 2014. Since then, he's had some favorites to watch, and has even watched some of the story arcs. August was when a mysterious gamer girl was introduced in the series as she helped Mario improve his video gaming skills. From there, Angus thought he'd give it a try and make this pic to welcome her to the group. If you're wondering what the image was that was brought to Angus's attention, it was this. His 2013 cereal box art for Frosted Peanut Flakes. SMG4 used it in a story as someone recognizes the Eggman from a commercial.
I always look forward to SMG4 for when he puts Mario in some other game. I can see why Angus likes crossover ideas so much. Hey, what's going on here?
Oh come on. You know full well that you can't have these kinds of videos without us barging in at any moment.
It was only a matter of time before we could get here, and the length of these summary videos means that it's a perfect time to invade.
Stop right there. I'm no dummy. I've seen more than just a share of what Dave Madsen does for his videos. There is no way anyone is going to let some damnation duo just pop in and give us a hard time.
You're right. We do not surrender that easily. That is, if
What do you mean, if?
If we are allowed to talk about one of Angus's contributions, let us do this, and your souls will be safe.
Don't do it, Sam. If these videos have taught me anything, it's not to make deals with these demons. Or was that from playing Cuphead?
I'm probably going to regret this, but if it means getting these two monsters out of the way, then we have no choice.
excellent. Now, sit right there in your director's chair and let us show you how it's done. We are the McEvils, and for September, it is our pleasure to bring you a little something that could only be called.
Oh no!
Anyone who has ever played the original Sonic Adventure video game from 1999 can identify the less than enthusiastic response from Knuckles when he gets knocked down by Sonic. There are two versions of this that Angus did, but the first, showing the ick in his head, never made it to the webpage.
The idea was improved on during the year by making his eyes make like the letter O's in the Oh No, and putting in the letters to complete it. While it isn't much, it certainly gets the point across, and is even helpful for when he puts it in chat rooms.
That's it. That's all you have to say for the selection?
We never said we'd take our time with the explanation.
Thank you for letting us have a say in here. Now, if you will all be so kind as to stand still, we will take your...
Something told me that you two would go back on your word. Sam and the others were right in not trusting you. Out of the way, interferer.
You may have foiled plans in other video universes, but we will claim that which is rightfully ours.
Or what?
Or we.
Actually, we never thought we'd get this far. It is our first time in this universe, after all. Well, that much is true. Still, you'll have sufficient time to think it over once I'm done. Take this. Those meddlers won't be bothering you for quite a while. You may resume your video.
Wait. Before you go, how would you like to take the next month's selection? Microsoft Mark and Eva would do it, but they are back at their college, studying for their big winter exams.
It would be my pleasure. Well, you can pretty much guess who I am. For the month of October, it is my privilege to present to you tributes. Once in a while, Angus would make a commemorative for a celebrity, and for the month, he brought up two in particular. The first you see is for when Carol Spinney retired from his roles on Sesame Street as Big Bird and Oscar the Grouch. He has trained others for the voices, and stepping down marks the end of a classic era on the street, as he was the last original Muppeteer on the show. At 84, he's still around, but his time on the show will not be forgotten, even for those who watched from the early years. The other tribute for the month was made in preparation for the following month, where Mickey Mouse would celebrate his 90th anniversary. Angus admits that he could never get the years just right, but he was at least happy with how the eyes turned out, making the number 90 out now.
There would be another tribute later, right?
Make that too. As November rolled on, two more tributes were made early in the month. One was made for Stan Lee, whose long stay with Marvel Comics brought us a plethora of characters. Angus included a few aspects in what he called a celebratory Excelsior, so named after one of Stan's many catchphrases. The other was late in the month, paying tribute to Steven Hillenburg, creator of SpongeBob SquarePants. Take taken too soon from this world, but he will always be remembered for his creations. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must go and look over another situation elsewhere. Stay safe, blessed art thou all.
Thanks again. I guess while we're talking November, hello. I'm Andy, and for that month, we'll be talking about another couple of characters from SMG4's universe, and that's all thanks to Bob Sweet Bob. Because of the success of his Tari pick, Angus tried his hand at one of the other characters in the series, the Garo creature from the Zelda games, here given the name of Bob. Egotistical and not quite right in the head overall, Bob makes himself out to be all-important, even though more often than not, he lives like a hobo. This also gave Angus a chance to bring up a file from his archive, that of a little guy who follows Bob around sometimes, Fishy Boopkins. Supposedly a Mario antagonist, he's a bit of a simple-minded buffoon, but in an innocent way. Here he is with a facial expression scene in the first SpongeBob SquarePants movie. However, the month did not go well for this duo. In SMG4's videos, there is a falling out between the two, as Bob dumps the poor Boopkins and leaves him behind to pursue a rap career. The video tone was pretty dark, but Angus is convinced it won't stay that way, since it is part of a new story arc. Time will tell.
I saw that one. It was pretty sad. I hope Angus is right about it not staying this way.
Well, who knows? Sometimes you gotta go through a rough patch before you can get back to normal again.
Well, I guess that just leaves me to wrap up the year. Hello, I'm Gula. And for December, we bring you a rendition of two early television commercial pluggers. Wilkins and Wonkins. They were Muppets, creations that Jim Henson used for pitching Wilkins brand coffee and eventually other products. Wilkins was the green Muppet who urged people to buy and enjoy the coffee. Wonkins, the red Muppet, did not want to try the stuff, which led to him getting into some pretty unfortunate predicaments. An interesting note. According to Wikipedia, Jim Henson himself was not a coffee drinker. How ironic that the man who created a coffee enthusiast would be a Wonkins himself.
I used to drink that brand of coffee myself. That was a long time ago.
Not me. I never did acquire the taste for coffee. Yow.
Things just seem to happen to people who don't drink coffee.
What is that broom handle made of? Lead? Yow.
Well, that just about wraps things up for the year, but we still have yet to reveal the answer to our trivia question. You've heard the characters. Now, can you tell us? What voice was altered to better accommodate the character? Will the character in question please step forward?
And that would be me. Yes, that's right. I said me. I'm given the voice that had been used by Hank characters like in Dave Madsen's universe. Dave used another voice for his version of me, but it was a pretty low register and very hard to hear. The real convenience is that in the Balabolka program, Speakonia Male 2 is listed as Sydney, no matter what name is given to whichever character uses it.
If I recall, Dave Sydney met a grim fate. But we did make note to tell people in a September video that just because that happened in his universe, it doesn't necessarily mean all text-to-speech universes will follow suit.
That is a great relief to hear, Sam. And maybe we can work together for future videos once the formula is figured out.
It's possible, Sydney. I wouldn't mind if there was a part for me as well, but I think Sam is still a little wary of letting a vacant character loose in the studio.
We'll talk. But we still gotta work on how it's going to be done first, right?
Right, Sam. We might consider a blooper series, where it's seen in short snippets, rather than long storyboards, but that's still up in the air. We look forward to future videos, whenever they may be. For now, though, thank you all, the viewers, for watching, on behalf of AngusArt Entertainment.
I told you we needed a backup plan, you lummox.
Do you know how hard it is to be original these days? At least now we have time to think of a plan while we heal.
Who's got room to think? I have pains in places that shouldn't even exist. What?
I don't care how long it takes. We will get them all, and if we see Angus, he's on the list as well. You mark my words.
Got it! Sweep, sweep, sweep!